y'all. Welcome to the live. Welcome to Trucking Collab Live. How y'all
Mm-hmm.
doing tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Look, we getting it in. Look, I was trying to get my grub on before the live. I've been busy all day. Kameel and I had our recruiting lunch day live at
Earlier.
12, and we
Yes.
back again tonight. So look, I was trying. I had a baked. Look, let me tell you something. I had a baked potato with ribeye steak. Girl, right. It was the bomb. Okay. So yeah, I was trying to get it in like 30 seconds before I hit live on this show. So all right, I'm Miss Jerri with Life on the Road Recruiting, and I got my home girl and my homeboy with me.
Rock from the block.
Yes.
What up? What up?
Y'all introduce yourselves.
I'm Kameel, and I'm owner and recruiter at Rig on Wheels.
I'm Rock from the block, entrepreneur, truck driver, businessman, all of the above. You know how we do.
Absolutely. All right. So what we do from a trucking collab perspective, we are it's a group of us, it's a conglomerate, so to speak, and we just get together. We talk about the hottest topics in the industry. We talk about we got the small fleet owner, the still a CDL driver out there. So we get insight from him, from Rock, as well as our lady. She couldn't make it tonight. She had another engagement already planned. But LaShawn, y'all saw her picture in the intro. She's our Rock. She keeps us in line. Like Kameel like to say, she keeps us out of jail. So Miss LaShawn, we miss you tonight. But
Gotta stay out of
we
jail.
know you will be back next week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get into some of the topics. I know Rock wanted to talk about the emergency, like the importance of an emergency fund. I know that's crucial for, especially for your small fleet owners. So talk about that. Tell us about that.
My grandmother, right? My grandmother's hilarious. She's Jamaican.
Yeah.
She could be talking about anything in the world. She always does this right here. Every time. She said, Rocky, you know you have to eat the good food. You can't just go run and eat the fast food. It don't matter. So it just kills me. But I just wanted to get that out the way. We got to lighten up the mood a little bit.
Yes.
Now.
Yes. So you're Jamaican? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why you think I got like 18 jobs? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's
Listen,
coming all together for us. It's coming all together.
It's
you see
coming
what I
together.
was
Look, we
making?
didn't realize that, but it's coming together. It make a lot of sense now.
I'm gonna put a juice bar in the back of the truck so that when I stop, I can just start selling juice. But so let's get down to it. An emergency fund. This I wanted it to be an organic topic because this actually was a play that had an effect on my business right now, today, real time. And I was just thinking, man, if I didn't have an emergency fund, what I would be going through right now would be completely detrimental and what probably puts most drivers out of business or having to put them back in a company truck. Now, what I mean by that is there isn't a dollar amount that you can set and say, hey, you need this amount of money before starting your own business. But there is a guideline, there is a blueprint, and there is an area as far as a dollar amount is concerned that you want to have minimum in access to in your account, right? Not credit cards, not loans. You want to have cash, capital, liquid. Now, it's going to be different for different people. You know what I mean? Some people have kids, some people have houses, rent, car, et cetera, et cetera. So an emergency fund, it's big. It's big, 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 big. You need to have an accessible amount of money that you don't have to go through a third party to get to, right? So me as a business owner, I have several different accounts, several savings accounts, another checking account, and then I also have credit cards on the side just in case. But that's the absolute, that's if everything just hits the fans. And then if it hits the fan that much, then you just got to start selling stocks. You got to go into the house and start having garage sales, all that. So that's why you don't want to not contribute to an emergency fund. Now, it would be best if you can contribute the emergency fund to a interest-bearing savings account, right? I actually found I'm using a business checking account that actually accrues 1% interest up to $100,000. So that could act as an emergency fund, but I would rather the emergency fund be away from my business fund, because those funds are going to be allocated to the business itself. If I need to pay my drivers, if I need to pay insurance, if I need to pay my trailers, if I need to pay for fuel, those funds are going to be for that. So when we say emergency fund, we're not talking about the money, all that you're making from the business. You have to actually take money, set it aside from your gross revenue and put it towards emergency fund, personal savings, maintenance for the truck, what have you. So an emergency fund is key. It's essential. You have to have it. It's an absolute must.
Unmute myself. How much do you recommend, like, putting aside for that emergency fund? And do you recommend it each week, each month? Like, what's the consistency?
Well, it depends on your circumstances. It depends on your personal circumstances. Obviously, there's a lot of variables. Excuse me. It depends on how much money you're making, what's your gross revenue. It depends on how many trucks you have. It depends on what your monthly expenses are looking like. All these things play a key part as far as what you're going to contribute to your emergency fund, your savings fund, your maintenance account. Now, I get a little excessive just to be on the safe side. You don't have to get as excessive as I do, but you can use your emergency fund, and maybe your maintenance account can be all the same one. It can be all the same account, but you always want to have at least your savings and your maintenance account. Whatever you decide to do aside from that would be personal preference. Me, I like to do 3, but emergency, maintenance. So that way, your maintenance account is going to cover all your essentials, your tires, your oil changes, your filters. If you need to get a radiator change, if you need to get brake pads, if an airbag blows on the trailer, what happened to me? These things
Wow.
You have the ability to. You see what I'm saying? So now, if I didn't have that emergency fund, my driver would have been sitting on the road for days, 2-3 days. Now, next thing you know, I lose a driver because I got him on the road 3 days. He's not making money for his family.
Right. Absolutely.
So
yeah, I was just talking to another driver about the same thing. He was telling me that he's leasing a truck, and what do you recommend, like, from a lease perspective? So he's leasing a truck, and I don't know if there's but yeah, he's leasing a truck, and so we were talking about, like, maintenance. And so maintenance, they got the roadside assistance and stuff like that when you lease the truck. But, like, what are your recommendations from, even he's gonna be able, if something happens to that truck, he's gonna be able to go and call Ryder Penske, whoever it is, and get another one. Like, what type of emergency fund should that type of owner have?
So you put me between a rock and a hard place, because I don't really deal with the leases.
Yeah. Tell me why. Because I like to hear both sides to that, because I just, like, from my perspective, I'm happy if we're able to go get something else, like, real quick, because this one broke down on the side of the road, and I don't want to have to spend, days out of work or whatever, or have my driver spend days out of work.
That's a short-term fix to a long-term goal, right? Okay. So that's great for the person that's offering the truck. Why? Because the first truck's broke down. So now the questions that I'm asking are, am I still contractually binded to this truck that you're just taking out from me? Do I have to pay the same lease on the new truck that you're bringing to me? Is the insurance going to change because the year of the truck, the make of the truck, the model of the truck? did this truck that you're bringing me already go through an inspection? Is it already DOT compliant? Is there something wrong? You see what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of questions you have to ask. But I think that's actually going to be great for another topic. So I'll leave the lease part alone. But
Yes.
to get to your question, there's a lot of expenses with leasing, and the company's in your pockets already. So you have to come up with a number when you cover your insurance, your trailer, your fuel, whatever the company's going to take out, and then from whatever little bit that you have left, you got to calculate a number that's going to work for you that you can put in your maintenance account but still be able to live your everyday life. You know what I'm saying? So I can't come up with that number. Everybody has to sit down and do their calculations on, okay, I got house, I got rent, taxes, whatever the case may be, and then come up with a number. Some people like to do, a set dollar amount and just put that in. Some people like to do a percentage. I like to do a percentage because the percentage will be based off whatever the gross revenue is for that week.
Right.
So the way it's constantly changing. It may be less, it may be more, it may be in the middle, but you already know because you already know you got to cover fuel. You already know you have to cover insurance every month. You already know you have to pay that trailer every month. So if I say, okay, well, I'm going to take 15% of my gross revenue, let's just call it $5,000 for the week. Okay, I know 1250 divided by 2. Whatever that calculation is going into my maintenance account.
Yeah, I just know.
Have anything to add?
Yeah, a lot of on the offset use lease program and they utilize the figures, very similar. But they just use that because it works. Part of knowing that the driver is going to keep going. So I think part of it just literally has to be what you're comfortable with. What you're comfortable with, what company you're running with, what your account is, all of that type of stuff.
Right. That's a good point. Yes. So any other Rock, you got anything else on that particular topic? I know we had a couple to get through before the end of the conversation.
Yeah, emergency fund money, we can always get into it, but I'll close out with just saying it's a must-have. You have to figure out, and I tell this to all my trainees, what type of driver are you, right? From how you operate the truck to how you operate your expenses. Are you somebody who you're going to sleep at a truck stop every night, which means you're probably going into the truck stop at least once in that time frame, which means you're probably going to buy something, whether it be food, water, something for the truck. Or are you like me? Are you okay with sleeping at a rest area? Are you okay with sleeping at a weigh station because you have everything on your truck already? I got food, canned tuna, rice, steamed vegetable, frozen vegetables, water, solar shower if I need it. I have all these things in the truck, so that way I don't need to sleep at a truck stop, which means I'm more likely to save money than to go into the truck stop for $5 here, $10 here, $20 here.
That adds up.
Yes.
That adds up very quick.
Yep. So I'll close out with saying you got to figure out what type of driver you are, what type of owner are you, and what is your financial lifestyle overall? What is your financial personality? That's what I like that. What's your financial personality? And then you'll be able to calculate how you're going to save your emergency fund, your maintenance fund, how it's going to be broken up, so on and so forth.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this, Rock, as well, just from a driver perspective. What are your thoughts on like detention pay? We got Kameel and I have companies just across the board, from your megas all the way to your 1 and 2 truck owners. Like, where do your thoughts lie with detention pay? So if there is a breakdown, most of our companies will pay after 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, but it's an hourly rate. But I've seen drivers say that, that they're broken down, 8, 10, 12 hours. What does that look like? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's funny because I feel like everything ties in together because we started off talking about emergency funds. I'm a small fleet owner. So if I don't have an emergency fund and my driver's on the road for 12 hours, 10 hours,
Right.
2 days, that actually can cause for me to lose a driver. So
yes.
Facts.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Say it again. Talk to me
Yes,
again.
facts. I think I said it like 15 times in the last 10 days.
You have to. So
and it's good drivers out there that go through that, and that those small fleet owners lose. And that's not good, because you got a good driver, they're gonna run for you, but then when you have that breakdown and they can't feed their family, like, that's where they draw the line. I like you, I'm gonna run for you, but I still gotta be able to feed my family.
100%. And that's why, going back to it, it's a chain effect. So you have to have an emergency fund to be able to fund those things, and you really can't even concentrate on the money that you're seeing come in, because you just got to look at it like that's not even yours.
Yeah.
That's not even yours, because you got to make sure that truck is covered, and you got to make sure your driver is covered, right? So me, what I do personally, because I know that I'm a small fleet owner and the drivers are dear to me, and I'm a human and I'm a driver, I let them know, hey, look, I'm a small fleet owner, but I'm going to do well within my power and beyond to make sure that if something does happen and the truck does break down, that we get it fixed as quickly as possible. And I keep my drivers in the loop. Hey, look, let's call the shop, get them out to you. Okay, it's going to be this much. All right, I'm going to call them, touch base, give them the phone number, this and that. And if it's enough time to where I feel like the driver is losing out on money, then I'll just have to come out of pocket and maybe cover their lunch, cover their dinner, maybe do $100, $150 just out of my pocket, just to show them, like, hey, look, I don't have a lot of money, but
Right.
I think that much of you being in my truck, then I'm going to make sure that you are at least compensated for your time, because when you get into business, you realize that time is the most valuable commodity that you have. So everybody has to be paid for their time. That's what, especially somebody that works for you.
Right, right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to get into our next topic, and let me pull that back up. So Kameel had an owner that she was communicating with, and basically just literally getting your ducks in a row. So Kameel, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, and so it really piggybacks, off of what Rock was saying. So with me dealing with a lot of course, the mega carriers, obviously, but dealing with a lot of small fleet owners, and then dealing with the drivers that drive for the smaller fleet owners as well as the larger ones. First, let's just be 100% transparent. The small fleet owners are having to compete against these mega carriers in a lot of ways. So we're not just talking about insurance, we're not talking about all of those type of things, but you're going to have to attract drivers away from US Express, away from Schneider, away from this, away from that. So as much as you all have a driver that'll say, oh, I don't want to work for that company and all of that type of stuff, they'll end up going there because they're able to get a different type of consistency, and it goes back to the emergency fund. Okay, I'm not saying that at no time the mega carriers are not going to have you your truck down for X amount of time, but as a norm, your truck down, they're going to pull up with another truck. So whether that means the smaller fleet has a lease truck that they're doing, or whether it's another owner operator that told me this, he always has 1 or 2 beater trucks that they don't look good, they're not good in the inside, but he's able to keep his driver going.
Right.
They just
that's huge. Yeah. That's huge.
And when he said that, I was like, well, damn, you know what I mean? Like, it really because he said, no, that's not something my driver's going to drive all the time. But if I need him to drive it for a week or two, he's happy that he's still rolling. Okay. And so I think it's more of being aware that truck drivers are people with families. So it's saying that you can't look at them as your kids that's working for you in the house and they 16, 15, 14 years old. Because I'll talk to a fleet owner, and this is part of the consultation with it all. And I'll say, how much are you going to pay? And they say 20% of the load, 25% of the load, 30% of the load. That sounds good. However, I've been in this industry for a long time, and I'm very passionate and I'm very sensitive to certain things. 25% of what? Okay.
Yes.
So we're talking about 25%.
Yes. Look, you preaching now, okay?
Of $1,000, or we talking about 25% of $5,000?
Look, Natasha said, yes, indeed.
Right. So sometimes I'm not sure if we just want to throw out them figures and stuff like that, but I really break down stuff. Like if you look at my YouTube, I break stuff just really down. I go back over it. My favorite app is the calculator on my iPhone. So I really break it down, and I want it to make sense for you for whatever that is, whether you need to make $800 a week or whether you need to make $1,500 a week. I really break it down. So that's one of the things for a small fleet owner to think about is how are you paying your drivers? What are you paying your drivers? Don't just say 20, 25% of the load. Because when you start saying that, you're going to lose them to somebody that say 26% of the load, even though your 25 is more because they're making more. Mm-hmm. So you got to think about it like that. And that's basically part of putting your ducks in a row, knowing what's going to happen when the truck goes down, not if it goes down. You know, I got a new truck and stuff like that. It doesn't matter that you have a new truck. Things happen on new trucks all the time. And I'm not saying because the truck is a limit, just literally things happen on a truck. So that's part of stuff that you can control.
One of the I was just gonna say one of the questions that I ask when I have an owner telling me I paid 25% of the load, I need you to find me a driver, and this is what I pay. My question is like, what's the average? Like, what are we looking at? 25% is 25%, okay? But 25% of what? Like you said, what does that look like? What is your driver average, your other drivers averaged in the past? Where are you going freight-wise? What are you hauling? And so all of that kind of plays a factor into that.
Because just like I'm recruiting for a smaller fleet owner, just like I'm not going to purposely send you a bullshit driver that I know does not work for the culture of your company. I refuse to start advertising to get you a quality driver for when we don't know the answers to these questions. So sometimes we don't know the answer to the questions because you might be a little green on that side of things, which is fine. That's fine because that's part of my consultation. But I ask these questions for a reason because my purpose is not for you to start your trucking business. My purpose is for you to stay in it and grow your fleet, and I help you get more drivers. Okay. And another thing is sometimes I notice that when I say we, the smaller fleet owner doesn't know these questions because he really hasn't asked the company that he's working for, okay, or he's running under. That's a better. He might be running under somebody and he hasn't asked, or he has never just done it before. That's why it's so important to collab with other drivers. You know, us doing this, Jerri, Miss Jerri, and I having our own agencies. Rock being a fleet owner and a driver. When Miss is on here, she the DOT lady that keeps us out of jail We have another partner, Jake, as well. It's very important because we need to mentor each other and we discuss stuff on a day, literally on a daily basis, because we want to bring our best foot forward with you. So that's having our ducks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to a small fleet owner today, and she's never driven. She's never been in this industry. However, her mentor is somebody that has been a truck driver and has worked for the same company for 25 years.
Wow. That's priceless. That's
so
priceless.
I go to get her a driver for 3 years, and I tell them that that's attractive to somebody that's been out here in the game for 3 years, to know that his boss has a mentor that been 25 years. So he's able to tell her stuff. So that's part of my thing, basically about that. But I'm always a numbers and being real about stuff. It's a driver shortage out here. Okay, let's do even better. It's a quality driver.
I knew you was about to say it. I knew you was going there.
Shortage.
Because that's true. That is so true.
Quality.
It's a lot of drivers out here. We got drivers hitting us up all day long. But when you call us, it's a certain, first of all, after we pull out what we need to pull out, because you ain't gonna call us with the truth. All right. If you give me the truth up front, I might be able to help you faster, and we save about 30 minutes talking about bullshit. Okay. So it's like Kameel said, it's not a shortage of drivers, it's a shortage of quality drivers.
Yep. Quality drivers. So with saying that, you're having to compete with the larger companies that they spend millions of dollars on marketing and advertising, millions of dollars on that. So,
and I want to talk about Jake John. We see you. You got my number, and you got Auntie Kameel's number. I'm both on the screen. Give us a call. We're gonna get you hooked up. I see you looking for work. Gonna get you rolling. But definitely, like, one thing that is very important with regards to that is, you gotta know, like, being a small fleet owner, you have to understand the competition that you have, because the driver will pick up and leave, and he will go to that major carrier, and they will have options. They got plenty of options out there. So you have to figure out, as a small fleet owner, what is your differentiator? What makes you different from that company, where they can go and make sure that they don't have and run into any issues. And so
that's the same.
And that's what I tell all of my small fleet owners. I want to find you a great driver now. And then the next time I find you a driver is when you're getting another truck, when you're adding another truck. And Rock will tell you, I find you a good driver, then I find you another when you add another truck, when you add another truck.
Can I attest to them? Can I attest to them?
Yes. Don't attest.
Hey, look, I don't know how many people's on this joint, but Miss Kameel and Miss Jerri will get you right. You hear me? So if you got trucks and you need to get them ducks in a row, you need to call them 2 numbers up there, because I'm working on my second driver right now. I'm sorry. I'm working on my 3rd driver right now.
It's 3rd.
It's 3rd.
I'm working on my 3rd. My second was getting ready to start. We're working on number 3. So yeah, Miss Jerri, Kameel, they'll get you right. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. And then look, let me tell you something. They know BS drivers. We're finding good drivers and giving you a good report. Look, you know all the way to what their dog name is.
Facts. Look, you gonna know that they wives, they left them, and they can run 3 weeks, even though you need them to run 2. That's what you don't know.
Because we're gonna pull it all out. And that's what we do. Like we on the phone talking to our drivers, but we building relationships. It's a relationship
I don't
thing.
want to cut you. I don't want to cut you. Miss Jerri gives me full reports from these drivers. You hear me? Kameel gives full reports. I'm talking about email. I'll be like, dang, Miss Jerri, okay, I got it. Miss Jerri be like, no, you need to get all this info so that way you can work your magic. I said, all right, Miss Jerri, I got you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You get
So
the
I'm not,
magic.
and keep in mind, Camille and I, we're not sealing the deal. We're like he said, we're giving him those reports. We're giving him the information on those drivers, but it's his job to seal the deal. And he seals it, he sealed it well. I ain't got no problem with him sealing no deals, but he seals the deal. He makes the final approval on whether he wants that driver or not. But Camille and I put the information in his fingertips so that he can make those kind of decisions. And ain't nobody else telling you all the way to what they wife and dog doing, okay?
Yeah. Because and it the same way that I'm going to express to the driver about the culture of your company. Because I ain't trying to send you no bullshit driver. Hey, Leonard. Because
Hey, Leonard.
I'm just not trying to do that. And so I'm trying to make sure that we do. The reason why Jerri, Ron, and I have really put out there that we do help smaller fleets is because we know what is going on in the industry. And it's hard to find a quality driver. And it's even harder for a small fleet owner to find a quality driver. So I kind of wanted to say that. So we definitely have to do that and harp on that. You know what? Right quick, Rock said something that when he said this about a driver, this is why me following up behind Rock was it was just like tag teaming and wasn't really playing like that. But it is, what type of owner are you?
Mm-hmm.
Literally, what type of owner are you? Because we'll be able to figure out the driver. You can't be the owner that's doing a lot of shortcuts and want a driver with a lot of years experience and all of that type of stuff, and vice versa, because they will jump off your truck and now you got to go and pay a recovery company to go get your truck. That's exactly what will happen. And mind you, all while people driving, when they get, not while they driving, but once they stop, they're gonna get on their phone and they looking for jobs. So that's about having your ducks consistently in a row. We can't, everyone talk about this all the time. We can't control human behavior. Okay, so but it's important for us to know that your ducks are in a row so we can get the best driver for you. That's I just the last 2 days, I feel like I've been worn down and swamped about that. And it's been some very, very good fleet owners, but just helping them get their ducks in a row. And that's why we have you fill out the driver request form. Because questions on there that you're not even thinking about, but those are questions that need to be answered before we do any advertising. Just like, for example, last thing, I recruit for over 60 companies. I will not recruit for a mega carrier that does not give me all the information needed so I can get them this driver.
Right.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to a driver because I'm too boom, 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 boom. So that's the reason why, I do that. We do that with the driver request forms. Because I could be talking about that for hours.
That's awesome. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Now, this real life, because I had and I just want to hear y'all's thoughts and opinions on it, and if you got any insight. But I had a driver reach out to me today, and his goal, of course, which a lot of our goals is to own our own business. His goal in trucking is to get his own trucks. But he wants to get his own trucks. He does not have the capital. He ain't got no money. He doesn't have the credit. The credit score is not good. And I told, so if he just had those first two issues, then it wouldn't be an issue, because I could go and I could get you with a mega or somebody that has a lease purchase program or something where, yeah, you're gonna spend a little bit of time, but you eventually own your truck. Okay. But his issue is he's got some blemishes on his background, criminal, and a failed drop dirty some years ago, a failed drug test. Yeah, yeah. So I'd like to hear y'all's feedback. Like, literally, this question is hot off. Like, I just talked to this driver not even 3 hours ago. So I wanted to throw this question in on our topics today because I don't have a lot of answers, but and this is what I tell them, and this is what I tell a lot of my drivers when I don't have the answer. I don't have the answers, but I have a trucking collaborative with a group of people, and if I don't know, they might know, or they might know somebody who knows somebody.
With that whole scenario, and I had something a little similar today, but it was more about criminal. It was an intense criminal.
Like a murder charge or something.
A long time ago, but it was intense. So it's similar when we talk about the drug issue. And somebody said it's a rough issue. Johnny, if you can put that on the screen. So with something like that,
that is a rough issue.
Yeah, I'm not knocking nobody's dream. Can you
absolutely
do that? My first question, just like I talk to the people in my household, how bad you want this? You know what I mean? It's almost like me losing weight and stuff like that. Like, for real, Kameel.
Me too.
Be that size 10. You know, like, so can it happen? Yes. Can you do it? Yes. However, when we sit down and really talk to you about how you can do it, is will you do it? Now, bad credit and all that type of stuff and lack of capital, all day long, me and Jerri can get you an lease purchase, the best one that we can find with the carriers that we have that's going to fit you and stuff like that. So that's that, okay? It's not going to be as pretty as, let's say, rock situation. However, people own businesses all day long and ain't even got a credit score. Okay, so let's start there. We can start start building from there. It may not be the pretty thing. So now we have a drug issue, a past drug issue. And this is why Miss Jerri and I spend so much time every day in our lunch lives talking about making sure you clean yourself up so you're not dropping dirty. So things like that. Now, so what I say is, you got the experience, right? Is he currently working for somebody or no?
He is not currently working for somebody. He is, it's been a month since he last worked for somebody. That was a lease purchase situation, but the home time was like out months at a time. So the goal is to get closer to home, be more at home, and help raise, the family. This is really hard for me to because that's it.
I'm about to say what it is that we can do. I'm literally about to say it's same.
Go ahead. Let me
have a rock situation.
Because I hope he listening.
Yeah, the question is, right, come on, Johnny, is he really coming?
Come on, Johnny. That's true.
I said in the beginning, here, Jamaican, so he got 500.2 jobs, right? So he can't drive right now because he probably not going to find nobody he going to be able to drive for because of that drop dirt, right? If he is, that's fine, jump in the truck. But if he's not, what I would recommend is you go get you a warehouse job. Okay, you ain't working, a lot of stress during this time, get you a warehouse job. You have some type of form of education. I mean, not education. Some type of form of transportation, right? Whether y'all got a minivan, y'all got a car, y'all got a cargo van, whatever you have, right? Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna sign up for shipping. You're gonna sign up for Instacart. You're gonna sign up for Roadie. You're gonna sign up for all of
that. Dolly, Lala Move. Look, I got them all. I can list them all.
All of those type of independent contracting situations.
Yeah.
One thing gonna pay your bills. You're gonna have to come down off of some of those luxuries that's at home. This is part of what Johnny was saying about how committed are you. Okay.
Now that we let me come in because I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but this one resonated too much. Mm-hmm. It resonated with me too much. That was me. I had my license. I made out with a company out of Jacksonville where I was playing arena football at the time. Mm-hmm. And I was told that I was going to get home every weekend. And that wasn't the case. They tried to send me to Arkansas on the weekend that I had a game. And I was like, look, I'm going to my game. Like, I don't know what y'all talking about. So there was a few other things in between, ended up letting me go, which breached the contract of them paying for my license. So I made out my license for free. But the experience reared its ugly head. I didn't know where I was going to get experience. Nobody wanted to take me, whatever the case may be. I'm trying to find local jobs. I got an interview with Pepsi down here, 24 an hour, benefits out the gate, 12 hours a day type situation. They wouldn't take me because I didn't have no benefits. I wanted to stay and play football, arena, going to the league, whatever the case may be. I had to make a decision because money was not coming in. The bills were still coming. So I did not want to go over the road. I did not want to go over the road. I didn't want to do it. I went over the road, and I've been over the road for the past 2 years. And just 2 years, now I'm working on my third truck. So now I'm in a situation where I had to shut it down. I had to lock in for 2 years, right? I had to lock in for 2 years, get on the grind, stay out, hustle, do what I needed to do. And now 2 years later, literally, I just got my CDL 2018. We're in 2021. I barely have my license 3 years and I already have 2 trucks. So just like Johnny was saying, just like Kameel was saying, how committed are you? Mm-hmm, and the commitment doesn't need to bear time, because the simple fact that if you commit for a certain amount of time, which I did for 2 years, I can go sit down if I wanted to.
Yeah.
If I want to go sit down, I can go. I got 2 trucks on the road running for me right now. I'm working on the third. I can let those 3 trucks come in, making a minimum of $5,000 a week. That's 15 grand a week. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I got 15 grand a week coming in. Pay my drivers. They get their $1,500, $1,700 a week. Pay my fuel. Pay my expenses. I'm good. All from a 2-year sacrifice. So people like Johnny was saying, you got if you committed, you're not worried about home time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I understand kids. I understand children. I don't have any, but I understand the point of view. But if you're trying to be at the crib, get that warehouse job like Kameel was talking about.
Yeah, and then once you have those 2 forms of income, my purpose of saying that is then contacting somebody, not somebody, but like Miss Jerri and me, right? We're going to take you step by step through the process. So what I'm about to say is somebody may not hire you, but you can hire yourself. Okay? That's what it is. You can hire yourself. So you're able then to set up your LLC, your EIN, we're going to help you with your business credit, getting that to rolling. Starting with your DOT, making sure that's starting to mature. All of these different things that are starting to happen, right? So what's going to happen? You're going to be able to start running for yourself.
Yeah.
That literally, but it depends on how bad you want it. It can definitely happen, even in that situation. But we also have to realize when we do stuff and make mistakes, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's a credit mistake, whether it is a drug mistake, whether it's a criminal mistake. It's a mistake, and now we have to fix it. It's very few mistakes that we can't fix. It's the point of being is how committed are we? And we all have some form of commitment issue, but you have to decide, is that particular thing something, we committed in?
And Johnny said it best, commitment. That's
Man.
Rock, I'm curious to know, like, okay, so 2018 you got your license. Like, did you sit down and put together like a plan? Because like my husband, like, look, we're gonna do something, we gotta map it out, we gotta plan it out. We ain't doing nothing until it's mapped out. So like, did you put together like a plan? Because that's what communities are doing with a lot of our drivers that are coming in, helping them with a plan. So like, did you put together like a plan?
No, I map everything out in my head because not to say that people with plans are feet draggers, but it comes to a point because even for myself, I had to ask myself, how long do I have to plan? How much research do I have to do? How many people do I have to talk to? How many Google searches do I have to do? How many YouTube
How many
videos?
classes I gotta take? I feel you.
Until until I just jump in. What's the word? And you know what? I love this. The brokest I've ever been was when I was in Orlando, and that's because the job market. And you're talking to somebody with a bachelor's degree in business, concentration in marketing.
Come through. Come
through now.
Couldn't find a job. I'm getting paid $9 an hour, $12 an hour. There was nothing for me to lose at that point. I was already broke. The worst thing is you go broke.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing.
We all been there type of broke. What you gonna do?
Yeah. You can't do nothing. You already broke. So me, I was already broke. I was like, you know what? I did enough research. I got the general baseline of what I need to do. I already understand expenses versus revenue versus profit, savings. So you know what? Let me just jump in. I had X amount of money saved up. I came up with a blueprint for what type of truck I wanted, mileage, the year, the make, the model, what I was willing to spend on it. Didn't budge from that number. Found what I needed. Found a mechanic to make sure that truck was good and that it wouldn't put me out of business if I was to have a breakdown.
Right.
And I just followed everything as it came.
You know what? Even though you say you didn't have a plan, that's one hell of a goddamn blasting plan. I think you can go schooling or something, but I do get your point. Don't plan so much where you just sitting there. You just consistently doing trainings, consistently doing these little classes or whatever it is, and you not jumping. Just jump. But I do think you do need some form of an outline.
Right.
So you ain't jumping in the wrong way. But like you said, you had a blueprint. That's a plan.
100%. 100%. Everybody operates different. You know what I mean? I was writing stuff in notebooks. You know what I mean? But I didn't sit like, okay, I need.
Right. So that's your plan. That's your plan.
Right. You didn't have like a 12-page business
plan.
Right.
Just an outline. I get that.
Yeah, I do too. That's excellent because that is with what Miss Jerri and I do to help is that type of plan. So you're not jumping out there. Like we always tell people, now, baby, the last thing in this plan you about to go get is you a truck. We gonna stop speedballing. You know what I'm saying? You've been broke all your life. Don't act like it's
all your life.
Speed all this through. No, we're not doing that.
All your life. You've been broke all your life.
So we can know what's your top, what you not gonna budge on. Those type of things. And it'll go faster than you think. But yeah, no. Somebody
and that's why
I'm trying to have my truck. I don't have my truck. I don't have an LLC or nothing. I'm trying to have it up and going in March. Stop. What?
Stop it. Stop. Tell them again, Kameel.
Stop it and stop watching them folk that talking about everything good about the industry and not giving you the real about the industry. The real about the industry, because this is an extremely lucrative industry. However, if it was just easy just to jump in there, everybody and their mama would be successful in it. Most people fail within the first 2 years because
they don't plan. They don't put in the work and they don't understand what's needed.
So that's part of jumping in, but we have to be realistic as far as how fast it takes and what the turnover is. How fast is something? How fast it's going to take you to get your DOT? How fast your MC number? All of those type of things are important to know because you can't start driving. I mean, you can't start if you ain't got no driver.
Come on through, Johnny. That's so true.
Show money real quick.
Real quick.
We need to get Johnny up here. Johnny sounds like
okay, Johnny. We're gonna bring you in here, Johnny. Okay,
Bring
okay, because you got some insight.
Yeah, because you right. Like it'll eat your money up real quick. And what I noticed is that people will listen to just the sunshine and roses type of people and all of that type of stuff in this
and the money. They'll look at the part of them lifestyles on Instagram. Let me tell you something. Instagram, look, I can take Instagram in small doses. Cause baby, some of them trucking lifestyles up in Instagram. Ooh, Lord have mercy.
And if you know something about trucking, you know some not the lifestyle necessarily, but what they're saying is not the truth.
Yes.
What they're saying that's not the truth. That's why we trying to get on here and be like, no, listen, you can carry some bags to the bank in trucking, but you're gonna have to work.
And that's what I tell my kids. I got 5 boys and 1 girl. Yes. And I'm pushing on. Well, I've pushed and I'm still pushing them into trucking because the girl is on a different path, still in this industry, but on a different path than driving the trucks. But there's so many facets of trucking that you can make good money in, whether it's driving, whether it's dispatching, whether it's what we do recruiting. The industry is very lucrative, and I'm so happy to see a lot of us getting in this industry and making some of this good money. And it takes, like Kameel said, like Rock said, it takes commitment, sacrifice, and putting in the hard work. Like you see us, we on here at 8 o'clock at night. It's 9 o'clock where Rock at, okay? Right. So, and then you see me and Miss Kameel. You see me and Auntie Kameel at 12 noon on Lunch Day Live. Leonard, I see you, Leonard. Leonard, you'll be back on there with us tomorrow for lunch. So join us. Y'all check us out.
Yeah, you can carry these bags to the bank, baby. However, you got to work.
Let me tell y'all. When I say, what's today? Today's Thursday. I already spent just this week. I came back from Tallahassee yesterday. I was going to get my IRP plate for my second truck. I spent already between that, getting my DOT compliance on my first truck, getting the trailer up to date. I've already spent $6,000 this week. Already. And that's just on maintenance, right? And it was over, my IRP plate was $935, plus I had to spend about $435 on my 2290. So that's $1,100 and some change there, plus the gas to get up to Tallahassee, plus food, plus the hotel, plus the truck. I spent about $25.
Those real
25, 26.
Let me put Johnny coming back up there.
Yes. Hey, you make the money, but I tell you what, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
it's a good problem to have. You see what I'm saying?
But you know what? Let me say a little bit. I'm trying not to act like everybody ain't for real. So we got a driver, a fleet owner, about to be a fleet owner, not Rock, obviously, because he's our client. But you gotta it costs all this money to get your truck to where it needs to be so you can put it on the road. And when you call us to help you find a driver, you don't want to.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, and go through and do that invoice so we can find you the best driver. But you done spent $6,000. Some people more than that because they don't know, everything, right? They have spent all this stuff. However, they don't want to invest a fraction of that
to find a good driver.
I'm sorry.
Agency to get a driver for a permanent situation. I mean, not that sometimes drivers do go to temp agencies so they can get a permanent job, but you do know what temp agencies are for, right? So, it just, I'd say that's part of everybody may not be made for business ownership. However, everybody is made for some type of ownership. But it may not be business because if you're willing to go get this $40,000 truck, or even if you bought something that was more modest, right? So now you have spent $15,000 on this truck. You got to put all this stuff up in it. The tires fixing to blow out next week, all this. But you can't spend the money in an investment to get you a driver.
The most important. That's
the most important.
Because I'm not the most important. I am not about to spend all my time trying to convince a fleet owner to invest in their company. That to me, I haven't grown as a person enough to do that. I'm still working on that process.
I'm trying to help her get there, Lord.
I just be like, really? Because I've been in this business for 11 years. So I know the money it takes to go from not having a truck to having a truck. That's I get to preaching, but I know how much money it takes. And now the main thing of if you ain't got no driver, you ain't got no business.
The wheels not turning.
And I don't know if it's me, but if these mega companies are spending millions on outside recruiters, it ain't easy to get a driver, right? And that's the premise of your business. That's like me trying to build a house, but I ain't gonna get no contractor. Or I'm going to
preach, Auntie Kameel. Preach.
Say that because I don't know what's going on. You ain't gonna spend the money. You gonna go and get thousands of dollars on this truck, and you ain't gonna spend a fraction of that to get the person that gotta drive the truck. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's like remodeling the bathroom. But you ain't got no water in there, so nobody can shower in there, use the bathroom, the sink, the toilet, none of that.
Right.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
So that's my soapbox today.
Well, thank you, Auntie Kameel. Lord, that's somebody auntie, y'all. That is somebody auntie, because she was getting in y'all shit. Whoever it is, they know who they is. Okay, they know. All right, y'all. So we've been on for an hour. We're gonna wrap this up. Y'all got any last thoughts until we come back to the followers next week?
No, just be safe out there, because let me tell you something, it's some weather happening in the United States right now.
States. Yes.
Real. And so I just, it just be very, very safe. Don't get behind that wheel if it's not something. And let me say this again, and I'm not trying to be political, but in Rhode Island, I know the governor stopped things. Stop no trucks moving, even though the weather wasn't very bad and all of that type of stuff. And I know the cargo wasn't moving and all of that and all the money behind that. But I'm so passionate about people's lives. And every year we see so many pileups on 95 and all of these corridors where it's 15 trucks piled up and it's cars in between and my drivers losing their lives and everything like that. So I know all the political and all the money and everything behind that, but I do want to say I am so grateful that no truck driver lost their life in Rhode Island in these last couple of days. So that's what I'm saying. I take the politics side of it and everything. I'm just very concerned that you ain't dead. That's important.
Yeah.
So that's it. I'm done with my soapbox.
Yes. Rock, you got anything?
Let's just I love the conversation. I love the introspective points of view. Let's get some real live people up here so they can dive deep and dig into these questions and make these conversations a little bit spicy because I know there's gonna be some controversy. I know you're gonna have people that disagree, people that agree, but I think it's time to start jumping into the bag a little bit more and really getting deep down with it.
I
Yes,
like
yes,
that
I love
idea.
it. I love it. That's an awesome idea. So, as Rock just said, if you want to join us, guys, feel free to leave a message in the comments. You can inbox me. You can inbox Auntie Kameel over at Rig on Wheels, and we will get you guys into the lives. We try to do the
Yeah, you can call and text us as well on those numbers right there.
Yes, yes. We try to do our lives at least once a week, either on a Tuesday or Thursday. I think we're going to be doing Tuesdays consistently moving forward. So if you want to join, inbox us or text one of the numbers below. So thank y'all again. And I just want to say, leave out on the note of thanking our truck drivers. Thank y'all because y'all are out there doing the sacrifice. Okay, y'all. Thank you, Rock. Thank you, everybody else that's listening on all of our social media platforms. Y'all out there sacrificing us for us on our behalf, on the behalf of my family. So you see me posting, you see Kameel posting. We are just appreciative. We're appreciative for everything that you guys are doing to make sure that we got some food up on our in the grocery stores and on our shelves.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. So, all right. Well, my dog is going crazy because the doorbell rang. But all right, we're gonna sign. Enjoy. Bye.
All right, bye.